Yesterday, I said to you, I'm not falling for Donald Trump's, I now want full transparency on the Epstein files. I said, I believe him, but it's only because he realized it's going to pass. Republicans are going to vote in the House, almost certainly, to release the files. And Trump can't be seen as trying to block that when Republicans have decided they're going to try to pass it. However, I also said, although speculatively, I could imagine how maybe Trump is doing this because he's made some behind the scenes deal for his name to be removed or whatever. We don't have evidence of that, or at least we didn't yesterday. But now it's starting to look like that might indeed be what is going on. We now have reporting that the FBI is blacking out Trump's name from the Epstein files, as in the FOIA team flagged it, applied the privacy exemption, scrubbed it before the releases even made it anywhere. Bloomberg has the sources. And when you put this next to Donald Trump's wild posting sprees on Truth Social and his disjointed and disoriented speeches yesterday, it starts to look a lot less like, wow, Trump is bravely demanding the truth. And it starts to look more like Trump has figured out a way to get government to bend over backwards to protect the guy who kept screaming that he's really the victim here, rather than all of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. So here's the picture that's coming together now. The FBI's FOIA team allegedly has redacted Trump's name from the files, not because he was president. They say it's because in 2006, he was a private citizen. So suddenly, the most powerful man in the world gets the privacy protection of just being a random guy back in 2006. Give me a break. Number two, the DOJ and FBI leadership then say, we're done. No further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. Remember that? And we said, this doesn't make any sense. And then Trump's base gets angry and goes, this is sounding like a cover-up. Even Joe Rogan said they're gaslighting on this Epstein stuff. When you've lost Rogan on a Trump-related conspiracy, you know that it's getting bad. And then now it comes full circle, where Trump says, let's release the files. We do want transparency. And of course, if your name was blacked out by the FBI before the files even went upstairs, now all of a sudden you can say you're for transparency because you've got the edits already. And then we have this video, which I've played for you before. This is a DOJ deputy chief on hidden camera saying, of course, they're going to redact Trump's name and probably other Republicans as well. Now, do I trust this guy specifically? Well, maybe not. But this is hidden camera video where he is acknowledging, of course, this is what they're going to do. And it is now comporting and coinciding with Bloomberg reporting.
But those files do exist.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of pages of files.
By the way, this is Joseph Schnitt, acting deputy chief, Office of Enforcement Operations, DOJ.
They'll redact every Republican or conservative person in those files, leave all the liberal Democratic people in those files.
I think they visited that Maxwell person.
Yeah.
And also involved.
She got transferred to a minimum security prison too recently, which is against BOP policy because she's a convicted sex offender. They're offering her something to keep her mouth shut.
That was the acting.
All right. Now you could say this came from James O'Keefe. I don't trust James O'Keefe. I don't necessarily trust this Schnitt guy. Healthy skepticism makes sense, especially when we're dealing with James O'Keefe. But we now have Bloomberg. First of all, it comports with logic and common sense of what Trump would do. And it now is being corroborated by Bloomberg reporting. You've got internal conflict, political pressure, Bondi pretending that her big file release wasn't just recycled material from the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. And at some point, it's no longer tinfoil hat. And it's like, obviously, they're doing something here. Now, you don't have to believe, nor am I claiming there is a grand conspiracy. I'm not saying there's a secret edited version of the files that Trump personally approved. It's just a pattern. When the Epstein documents get close to touching Trump, the government finds a way to slam the brakes and they say we need privacy protections, or Trump was a private citizen in 2006, or he was president. Or so now I'm comfortable saying We have multiple sources suggesting the Epstein files are being scrubbed clean for Trump as the political pressure has gotten too much. Republicans are saying they're going to vote today to release the files, and Trump had to say, yeah, release them. And he's planning on being protected in some other way. If Trump actually wanted transparency, by the way, he could sign a privacy waiver today and tell the FBI, release every single mention of my name. He could do that, but he won't, because for all of the, yelling about full transparency and full disclosure, the only disclosure that's happening right now is a black Sharpie over Donald Trump's name. So I said yesterday, might they do this? I would need to wait before I suggest it. And in comes Bloomberg with corroborating evidence. What do you think? Make sure to like this video and share it. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We're pushing to 3.5 million subscribers. But let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Why is Trump really now saying release the files? All right. Awesome new sponsor to talk about, Wild Alaskan Company. They do sustainable seafood memberships. I got one of these boxes, and it is just phenomenal. The whole point with Wild Alaskan Seafood is that it's 100% wild caught. It's never farmed. It's from sustainably managed fisheries in Alaska, frozen at the peak of freshness, and then delivered to you. They've got 3 curated boxes: the wild salmon box, the wild whitefish box, and the wild combo box. I got a box that had everything beautifully vacuum sealed. The fish comes in pre-portioned fillets. We had crab, we had scallops. I know I should be saying scallops. It's just not for me. I call them scallops, okay? Delicious and sustainable. They have a sustainable, supply-driven approach. They get products during the harvest season in a way that doesn't deplete the resources of Alaska's wild fisheries. I encourage you to go to wildalaskan.com/Pakman and use the code Pakman for $35 off your first box. The link is in the description.